Hello, Ramley and other NFL family, especially Browns family. Welcome into episode 31 of MOOF. We have interviewed 30 of the 32 teams tonight. Today we are interviewing our second final fan. We are so excited about that. We have a Browns fan who's going to be doing a game-by-game prediction right here, right now, momentarily. And he's going to tell us why Browns fans are optimistic about this season. I have no doubt this will be an interesting episode right after this. And welcome to the show, Not Your Average Kim. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we always like to just start off with the show. How did you become a Browns fan, and who are some of your favorite Browns players from their history?
Well, my whole family on my dad's side has always been like all Ohio sports, Ohio State, Cavs, Indians, Browns. So just kind of growing up with them, and yeah, just my dad basically really is the reason I'm a Browns fan.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you're kind of born into it. That's cool.
Yep.
And then who are some of your favorite players throughout Browns history, and do you own any jerseys?
Yes, I actually own two jerseys. One doesn't play for us anymore, Baker Mayfield. And my second one is Nick Chubb, my favorite player as the Browns of right now. And over the years, I think Joe Thomas for sure, Joe Hayden, and another guy in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few other guys that I probably can't think of right now, but yeah, it's been yeah.
That's cool. Joshua Cribb was always a favorite.
Yes, sir. Joshua Cribbs, he actually follows me on Instagram, so shout out to Josh Cribbs.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're in a bit of a time crunch here, but we are going to do a game-by-game prediction. So everyone in the chat, thanks for tuning in live. You feel free to predict alongside us. When we talk about the game, put a W in the chat if you think the Browns are going to win. Pop an L in there if you think they're going to lose, or if you think they're going to tie, because ties are just a thing. Pop a T in the chat, and we are going to predict this here. Obviously, the Deshaun Watson situation, but outside of that, just before we get to the predictions, can you speak to what are Browns fans optimistic about heading into this season?
I think they're really just optimistic about, like you said, the quarterback room. What is Jacoby Brissett going to bring to this team? We know what the Browns have around him. Obviously, the best running back duo in the league, amazing offensive line. Our defense, I think, is going to be really good this year. Watch out for our defense. And I really just think it's the quarterback situation. Do we trust Jacoby Brissett? And I personally trust him. So
okay. All right, fair enough. Well, we're going to get started here. So the first game of the year, and wow, they cannot write this stuff. It is going to be Baker Mayfield starting for the Carolina Panthers. The Browns travel to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Do you think this will be Mayfield's revenge game?
Yeah, but I think he's going to play very well. Week one, Baker just always has that chip on his shoulder. I love watching Baker. I've always rooted for Baker, and I still am rooting for Baker, but except for week one.
That's fair.
I think he's going to play very well versus us. But, I just think let's look at the offensive line. I think our offensive line is way better than theirs. I think our run game is a little bit better. I'm not going to take that from McCaffrey. But, yeah, I think with that, I think we should be able to win that game.
Okay, so you're predicting a win for the Browns to start the season.
A week one win. That hasn't happened in a very long time.
yeah, that's fair. Shout out, hello, Michael. He's predicting a tie right off the bat.
A tie. That's interesting.
And Grandizer is predicting an L just because of Jacoby Brissett. He's
not
as confident.
I understand.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Week 2 is your home opener, and you welcome in the New York Jets. Thoughts on this game and win or lose?
I think this one's gonna be actually close. I don't know. The Jets are gonna be good in a few seasons. But I think the Browns win this one as well. I just think our defense is better than theirs, and like I said, the run game for this team is huge, and the defense, that's the two biggest keys for us, and our offensive line, like I said. But yeah, I think the Browns start off 2-0, but we'll have to see.
Okay. So Browns fans got to be excited about that for a 2-0 start. I see a couple of L's in the chat there, but then you got a short week here, and you play your first divisional game of the year. You're at home in Cleveland, and you welcome in the Pittsburgh Steelers to town. Thoughts on this huge Thursday night matchup, week 3, and win or lose?
Yeah, this game's going to be pretty big. Every AFC North matchup is going to be huge for us this year. It's going to be close, but I think it's at home. I think the Steelers take one away from us. Brissett probably struggles in this game. I hate saying we're going to lose to the Steelers. The absolute worst thing I've ever said.
Yeah.
But I think we start off 2-1, which isn't bad. I think we beat the Steelers.
Okay.
I mean, lose to the Steelers. My bad.
Yeah, lose them. Okay.
2-1.
And you see a couple of L's in the chat here, but Michael thinks you're going to win. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
We could trade that with the Panthers game.
Yeah, that's fair. So then you're traveling to Atlanta in week 4 to take on the Falcons. Thoughts on this game, win or lose?
I think the Browns offense gets going here. The passing game gets going. Brissett's going to look better. And I think the Browns start off 3-1.
Okay.
Take a win versus the Falcons.
Okay. All right. That's fair. And I'm sure Browns fans would be ecstatic with that for sure.
For sure.
Then we got a couple of games coming up here. Home week 5, you welcome in the Los Angeles Chargers. Win, lose, thoughts on this game?
Man, this is going to be a very interesting game. The Chargers are going to be good this year. They'll win some games for sure. I think the Browns drop this one. I think the Chargers are going to be playing really well. And I think the Chargers will probably get us.
Okay, fair enough. So that's 3-2, and then in week 6, you welcome the New England Patriots to Cleveland. Win or lose?
A lot of people think I'm going to say loss, but I'm actually give us a win versus the Patriots. I think we're going to steal one from them, bounce back from the Chargers loss, and I think our defense is going to play really well this game.
Okay.
Defense starting to get better. Yep.
Shout out a couple people in the chat. I see some L's with the Chargers, but also a couple SM calling an upset alert there.
I can see that.
Yeah. Win against the Patriots, L against the Patriots here. Okay, fair enough. Thanks everyone for your predictions. So 4-2 after 6 weeks, and then week 7, you travel to Baltimore. Always a big game when you're playing in the AFC North. It's such a smash mouth football division. You're playing at Baltimore, win or lose?
Coming off a good win, but I think we'll drop one to the Ravens. I think we actually split with the Ravens this year.
Okay.
But we'll talk more about that later.
Okay. So you think they lose this first one?
Yep.
Cool. All right. I see an L in the chat here. Nevermore. Grandizer always has the fun puns.
Yeah.
Then, big game here. Okay. Week 8, Monday night prime time football, taking on the defending AFC champions, the Cincinnati Bengals. Win, lose, thoughts on this game?
Man, this is going to be a really, really good game. Baker Mayfield was undefeated versus the Bengals. Think about that. So Baker's not on our team anymore.
That's crazy.
So I think this is going to be a tough one, man. I'm gonna give us a win. I think we'll split with the Bengals.
Fair enough. Okay. So that's 5-3, and Grandizer saying L versus these cats chase dogs Halloween game.
That's funny.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay, 5-3, and then week 9 is your bye week, and whenever we get to a bye week here on MOOF, we do this fun segment called
Bye Week Hot Takes. The hottest takes on the bye week.
Yes, it's time for Bi-Week Hot Takes, the part of the show where we take a little break from predicting, and I find some different hot takes from all corners of the internet, and we get our guests to react to them raw. Not Your Average Kim is going to tell us if he agrees with the take, if he sees the rationale behind it, if he disagrees with it, and let us know in the chat what you believe as well. We kind of touched on this one, but I have to bring it up just because it feels like as soon as the Mayfield trade happened, which I'd love to know your thoughts about it, but the whole internet is saying the Browns will lose week 1. And everyone seems to think that Baker Mayfield is just going to go Super Saiyan all over the Browns now that he's on the Panthers. Do you see the rationale behind this, and what are your thoughts?
It's not a one man's league. I think the Browns have. I know. Like I seen them at training camp, and they look really good. They look like they're ready to play. And I don't think it's just the quarterback situation. You got to look at, like I said, we have an amazing run game. Our offensive line is good, and our defense is very well. So I think if we look at those aspects, I think the Browns still beat the Panthers week 1. Even though Baker could have a great game, don't get me wrong, but he's had amazing games with the Browns and still just came up short because of that one play at the end of the game. Or just something bad. I just think we're just a well-rounded team.
Okay, fair enough. The second hot take, and this one, I had to look into this here, but it was some Browns fans that were talking about your head coach Kevin Stefanski, and the hot take is Kevin Stefanski will be the reason the Browns make the playoffs by out-coaching opponents, and I had to look into this, but he really is your best head coach in the past 30 plus years.
For sure. I actually got to talk to Kevin Stefanski at the Browns training camp. Not like a whole conversation, just said, what's up, got a picture with him, whatever, his autograph too. Great guy. But I think Stefanski, yeah, like you said, he's one of our best coaches in a long time. I think he's a really good coach, and he definitely will be a big part of the reason I believe that we do make the playoffs this year.
And you see it, when you're playing teams that, you're maybe equally as good, that's where coaching really does factor in, where you can out-coach someone. And it was interesting. I'd never heard that from a, Browns fan perspective, but I appreciated the take. All right. This is the one I want you to talk about the most here. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt will lead the best running game in the NFL this year, leading in team total rushing yards. I believe they've done that once before. Was it not last year, the year before that?
Yeah, I think so. I agree with this. Nick Chubb, I'm going to say it now. My opinion, I'm biased. I don't care. Best running back in the NFL. We can have a talk about it, but just watching him every week and understanding the work that he puts in, and that's just my personal opinion. Kareem Hunt, we heard about the trade rumors. He's not getting traded, I don't believe. I think this is the best running back duo in the NFL.
Okay. And do you see them both going for over 1,000 yards and at least 8 touchdowns each?
Absolutely. But one thing I will say is the Browns' offensive line this year is probably not going to be as good as last year. They lost their center, Nick Harris, for the season, and the backup. I can't forget it. I can't remember his name, but they lost both of those guys. So that's going to be huge for the Browns this year.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, this has been
Bi-Week Hot Takes. The hottest takes on the bye week.
That's always a fun segment. And everyone, I do see some of your comments and questions. I have put a star for them, and if we have time at the end, we will address them. But I do want to get back to the prediction. So before the bye week, you had the Browns going 5-3, and then, and I know Grandizer, a big Dolphins fan in the chat, wants to hear your prediction here. Week 10, you travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Thoughts on this game, and what's your prediction?
Oh man, this is either going to be a blowout for the Dolphins, because there's some times where I think the Browns are looking good and then they just get smacked, boom, just like that. Is it going to be a really good game or a blowout? So I think this is going to be a close one. I'm surprised this one isn't on primetime, but I see the Browns. Do they go 6-3? Man, I don't know. 6-3. This is a very tough one. I'm gonna say they win. I feel like I'm being biased, but I'm gonna say they win. I'll leave it at that.
That's okay. This series is called MOOF, which stands for most overly optimistic fan in the NFL.
Yeah.
We if there's ever a time to be optimistic about your team, it's right now when everybody is 0-0, right?
Yeah.
So 6-3 on the prediction. I see a win here. Grandizer, our resident Dolphins fan, he's saying that Miami knows Jacoby Brissett well. And
yeah, they do.
Yeah. So 6-3, and then you got a game here. You're traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Win or lose on the road. Thoughts on this game?
On the road in Buffalo, we lost.
Yeah.
Buffalo's. I think they'll be better than last year. They have a good squad.
Yeah, that team. I'm excited to see the Rams play the Buffalo Bills week 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 6-4, and then you are home and you welcome in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Win or lose?
I think this one actually comes down to the better run game. It's getting later in the year. There's going to be a lot of fans. I think this one comes down to the run game. I think the Browns steal one here versus the Buccaneers.
That's a big win. Big win. And that is the final game, assuming that we would see Jacoby Brissett. Yep. Because this next week is the week that Deshaun Watson is scheduled to make his first NFL start for the Cleveland Browns. Ironically enough, it is at Houston. So what are your thoughts on this game? And do you have any predictions for Deshaun Watson's return to Houston?
Yeah, my thoughts on this game, it just doesn't make sense how I understand he got a suspension, but they let him come back versus the Texans. There's got to be a reason behind this. Like, was they like, we're going to let him come back, but he's got to go into the fire pit first. We're going to let him hear it. I don't know what the NFL was thinking there. But, this game is going to be really good. I think the Texans will play as good as they ever will in this game. Man, in Houston, it's going to be sold out. It's going to be sold out. But I think I don't know, man. This one's tough. This one's very tough, and it shouldn't be. But it's the circumstances for Deshaun Watson. His first game back. I just think our defense plays really well this game. I don't think the Texans have a very good offense, so I think the Browns win, but probably by a field goal. We'll keep it within 3. Yeah.
Okay, comes down. So that's 8-4. I see a couple of W's in the chat here, and then a couple of L's against Tampa and Buffalo there. But okay. So you're predicting 8-4 on the year, and then you are traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals for the second time this year. What are your thoughts on this game? And I remember you predicted a loss in the last one. What are your thoughts for this game here?
Yeah, I think they win this one. Okay. Yep, I think they'll split with the Bengals. So, yeah, it's gonna be a good game though. A lot of these games are gonna be very good, very interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. Grant Ezler says they're gonna win against the Bengals. No pity for the kitty. So 9-4, and then you have your second matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. You're in Cleveland. Win, lose, thoughts on this game?
It's going to be a very good one. All AFC North matchups are very fun to watch. So I love being in the AFC North. I think I said they will lose last time to the Ravens. So I said they'll split. I think it's at home. I don't know if they'll split with the Ravens this year. I think so. I think our defense is good enough. So I think we'll beat them 10-4.
Okay. All right. That's
very
double-digit wins. That's saying that Deshaun Watson is going to start off 3-0 on the prediction. which is exciting to see. No doubt Browns fans would love that. And then your final home game of the year in Week 16, you welcome in the New Orleans Saints. They're throughout this series, they've been a tough team to figure out.
That'll be tough. I think the Browns lose this one. I think the Saints outplay us. Watson gets ahead of himself. But yeah, I think we lose this one. So 10-5.
Okay, 10-5. I will say here that SM predicted a win versus the Bengals, a tie versus the Ravens.
Another tie.
Yeah. And then win versus the New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a Christmas Eve game, so cold in Cleveland.
Yeah, that will have an impact on that game for sure.
Very cool. And then Week 17, you are traveling to Washington to take on the Commanders. Thoughts on this game and win or lose?
I think the Browns pull this one out. I think the Commanders, they won't be bad, but I just think we're just going to outrun them and outplay them in the end.
Okay, fair enough. And at this point, like I know Ron Rivera is kind of on the hot seat. You don't really know what's going to be there Week 17 for them to play for. But okay, so that's 11-5. Final game of the year is Week 18. You're traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You predicted a loss, or I forget if you predicted a loss, or you said you were going to split with the Steelers.
Yes, I think I said win.
Yeah, I think you said win. Oh, because you were at home first time. Yes, you said win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you think they're going to lose this Week 18?
Yeah, I think they'll lose to the Steelers. Finish 11-6, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That record is good, but I think the AFC North is going to be so tough. So all the teams are going to be right up there in that 11-6, 12-5 up there. All the AFC North teams will be up there.
Absolutely, and I think Browns fans would be excited about an 11-6 season with
for sure.
With everything that's happened with Deshaun Watson and getting him coming in there, that would definitely be exciting. Do you have time for just a couple of questions that I starred from the chat before you go?
Yep.
Awesome. So the first one here is from Grandizer. He said, no disrespect. Dolphins had Jacoby Brissett last year and was below average. Granted, he didn't have a good offense around him. His throws are sloppy at this stage of his game. What are your you said you're a believer in Jacoby Brissett, but you've been to Browns training camp. Like, how does he look, and what has he done to give you confidence for him to start the first 12 games of the season?
I think, a lot of people might not think that he looked that good, but if you look at his stats, his touchdown to interception rating is really low. And I believe in Jacoby Brissett, not just because of Jacoby Brissett, but I believe in our offensive line. You got to have a good offensive line, or you're not going to be able to even throw the ball. You got to have a good offensive line. You got to have good receivers to catch the ball as well. So I think with the pieces around us is the reason I really believe in Jacoby Brissett. Other than with his other teams, it's hard to believe in him when he's not on a great roster.
Okay, fair enough. And then just one final question here from Grandizer saying, is there a draft pick that you really loved in this year's draft? And he lists a couple of them here.
Yeah, I really like, after seeing a couple preseason games, Jerome Ford for sure. I really like that draft pick. I was really excited about Perion Winfrey. I have not seen much from him in the preseason. I'm still waiting on him to get over the edge and fit in a little bit more, but it's only preseason, so I'm not going to overreact. So I really like those two picks, and obviously Martin Emerson and Cade York. I seen him at training camp, and he is going to be a beast. He was like 5 for 5 or 6 for 6. Everybody kept wanting him to kick from 60, 70 yards. He's not going to go back that far in training camp.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, I'm going to remind all of our viewers that Not Your Average Kim, the link to his channel is in the description below. So make sure you go drop him a sub. And what can viewers expect if they subscribe to your channel?
Expect some crazy reactions for the Browns games this year. I'd go live on Sundays and Saturdays for the Buckeyes games too. So I get all pumped up for those. Me and my dad are usually on there. If you guys want to go watch our lives, we'll be live probably, I might go live tomorrow for the Bears preseason game. But yeah, you'll see excited fans and some very mad fans. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, stick around. We'll chat just afterwards. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of MOOF. Stay tuned. The final episode it's coming soon. It's coming soon. We are lining up our Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, and we will have that, and we will complete our journey of interviewing one fan from every NFL team. So until next time, we will see you in the next episode of MOOF.
See you guys.